Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we are going to be checking out the brand new Argonaut. We're going to be showcasing him in this video. We're going to be going into war games and we're going to be going up against people on the ladder. And we're going to be checking out how good he actually is. Now, of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and let me know in the comment section down below your own thoughts on this Argonaut. Do you guys like him? Do you guys think he could have been better, be it in PvE or PvP content? How are you guys finding him if you have used him? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, the first person I want to take on right now is a bit of a tricky one, a bit of a tricky customer, as I like to call him. MGG, of course, running a stall team, a variant of the stall team, of course, and mixed in with a little bit of a ailment mechanic team, effectively, right, with the Taral, Valletta, and of course Talvi and stuff, right? So we've got a little bit of ailment going on here, along with, of course, a stall team. So it's kind of like stallment, effectively, right? So we're gonna go up against this team. We're gonna check out how he will perform, of course. And you might be wondering, Gale, where's Argonaut? Are you going to take this team or is there another team? Well, there's not another team. This is the team we're going to try and take in here. But unfortunately, because of my terrible luck, I only have him at +2 at this point in time. I forgot to click fire there. I only have him at +2 at this point in time. We will be testing him out at +2 later on in this video, but right now, of course, I'm gonna take advantage of the trial unit mechanic and we're gonna check out how good he is at +5. And unfortunately, I wouldn't do this usually, right? I would use some other assist most likely. I'm going to be taking Ariadne as well into this fight because unfortunately, I can't change her. Even if I click on her, I can't change her. The trial units come as a combo, so I have to take both of them together. But I think we can still get stuff done here. Now, before we get in, of course, we're going to check out what this Argonaut is capable of doing. Of course, thankfully, when you take a trial unit, they do consider the CP level that you have. So right now, his stats are boosted with the CP level in mind. 2300 SCR, 800 endurance, 1200 dexterity, and nearly 1500 agility, 1450 agility, basically, we can say. Really solid, really solid stats. I've been saying since we've gotten his kit and everything that his stats are really solid. Now, unfortunately, because of course he's a trial unit, he's been given his equipment. I don't know if the equipments are weapon ascended or not. I don't know. I think they're level 60 at the very least. I don't know what their sub stats are or anything of that sort, but I have to assume they're at least level 60, right? That is the main thing we have to assume here. Now, to go over his kit quickly, because we've already done so many videos going over his kit, the news video, the should you summon video and everything, I'm just gonna go over his kit really quickly. His special arts is an AoE Ultra Fire physical attack with temporary great strength boost and ultra on guard rate, and removes status buffs and stun, and allies increases SA gate charge gain by 55%, and P-Res, M-Res, and Ailment Res plus 50% for 2 turns. It's not a PvE special arts by any means of the imagination, but there are some good qualities to this that can be used, of course, in PvE contents like the SA gate charge gain and everything. But for the most part, I mean, with the removal of the status buffs on the foes, stun, P-Res, M-Res, Ailment Res increase for allies, and of course the SA gate charge gain being 55% for war games is really solid. So in my opinion, this is a very good PvP special arts. If you can get it off from Argonaut, it's going to go off really well. It's just a question of, well, will Argonaut be the one to launch the special arts, right? That's the main thing. His first combat skill is Eternal Promise. It's a self buff, slow 70% HP heal, and agility and heal plus 70% for 2 turns. Very solid ability, right? Very strong ability. And of course, being a slow buff means it'll go last, of course, right? Unless you, of course, have somebody slower than that with their slow attack, or maybe they have Intario the Jester at like MLB, right? They've given that equipped to an MLB character who will go slower than a slow modifier, but still very solid. And then on top of that, null physical and magic attack ×2, which is really solid. And then 5 additional actions of high fire physical attack, damage plus 50% per each self STR and magic reduction skill, and ultra on guard rate on foes, along with 10% MP heal and status buff plus 2 turns on allies. Very strong ability for PvP, not so much for PvE, of course, in terms of the additional action, of course, right? Purely because the 50% is based on STR and magic reduction skills, which you don't see that much in PvE contents, but in PvE or PvP, I should say, sorry, very common, very common ability. And of course, null physical and null M attack ×2 is the key part of this unit. He is the second unit to get this, of course, right? We already have, Nocturnal Elf Ryu with the Omni null physical and magic attack, right? To all allies, of course, right? This is only to himself. But still, the fact that we finally gotten another unit that's capable of giving this to himself, it's really solid. It is really solid, of course, right? Salvation Flame is an AoE fast super fire physical attack with ultra encounter rate and removes damage reduction, attack type all targets, and P-res and M-res minus 40%, and self STR and dexterity plus 70%, and fire attack damage plus 100% for 4 turns. This is where he becomes insane for stall breaks, basically, right? He can break down stall very easily. He removes the AoE damage reduction. He's able to inflict the P-res and M-res decrease as well. Overall, this guy is strong. He is very strong for breaking down stall. Of course, if you're running into a lot of stall teams, he's your man. He is indeed your man. Signal Flare is a single target super fire physical attack damage plus 70% per each self STR magic reduction skill, and ultra on god rate, and self's 40% MP heal. Yet again, it's a PvE skill for sure, right? But the only issue is that it's not going to be viable in most PvE contents because there's not that many opponents that actually reduce your STR and magic. So for me, this is a bit annoying that they've gone with this instead of something like STR and magic buff skill or something like that. I think even STR and magic buff skill would have been fine. This is causing a bit of an issue in my personal opinion, but we can't do anything about it. This is what he is. We have to deal with it. So that's why I feel like he's not going to be great for PvE. But PvP, on the other hand, I think this guy's going to be a menace. He is going to be a bit of a menace. So let's get into it. Let's see how he fares. This is my Memoria setup for this video. We're going to rock it. We're going to see how he fares. Let's get into it. Let's see how he goes up against MGG first and foremost. We're going to go up against different teams, of course, in this video. Like I said, I'm going to be testing him out at +5, and then we'll go into another fight with +2, of course, right? So don't worry about that. Oh, I put him at balance. I forgot that I wanted to test out balance as well. I wanted to test out balance, and it seems like he just goes Salvation Flame, which isn't great, unfortunately, but we will have to rock with it for now. Unfortunately, he does lose out on, of course, the null physical and null magic as a result of that, and as a result, we lose him as a unit as well, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to go back in and we're gonna try out him at buff. It seems like you want to go buff for sure, no matter what, because you want to go skill 1 into skill 2. You don't want to go into Salvation Flame. I was just curious to see what the balance setting would be. I thought the balance setting would also be the same, but it definitely isn't. I do not want to buy Iris. Thank you very much, game. Please. I have no money right now. I have no finances to accommodate that, Chief. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's put him back into slot 2. Trial unit. There we go. Set him to buff, and let's see what happens. I've brought along Bet as well because of the fire res down as well, which will of course increase Bell's power tremendously, right? So we're gonna use that to our advantage and try and take down the opponent. Let's see how he fares here. This is gonna be very interesting. I'm very curious to see how this goes now. Of course, we're going up against a very strong stall team, a team that's capable of reaching potentially Hero 1. Of course, one thing to note when it comes to these sort of things is that, of course, one thing to note is that these teams can be fake, right? They can be fake, like certain teams can be not the main team of the player, right? And clearly we've won here. So I don't know, I feel like, of course, like I said, a lot of players tend to hide their teams in war games, right? Hence why it's so hard to judge right now. It's why I always say, like, this week we can take an opportunity to judge him appropriately for a little bit, but we can properly judge these units when the war game season starts. Right now, because the war game season hasn't begun, we're running with a bit of a fake team in a way, right? We're running with a bit of a fake team. So that's the only thing I would point out when it comes to this setup, basically, is to be patient. Of course, you know, this isn't the showcase you should this is a showcase you should see to watch how he performs and what he can do, but to see his actual performance against live teams, you have to wait for a week, basically, right? That's the reason why I would say that, because even though we won against MGG, I don't think in a normal scenario we would win. So that's something I will say. We're going up against a Magic team here, so let's see how we go up against this Magic team, against Pew, of course, right? Now this is a very interesting situation, of course, right? Because I mean, we're dealing with a team that's well, it's a Magic team, of course, right? It's very strong, of course, right? So we'll see how this goes. Of course, we've got the null ×2, but I don't think this is gonna work, is it? The counter killed me, damn it. Okay, I have an idea. I want to go up against Pew once again, but this time round I want to try and bring in Ilya if possible. So I'm going to switch out the team a little bit. So we're going to bring in Argonaut once again. Unfortunately, like I said, we can't change the assist. I wish we could, but it's not possible. So what I'm going to do here instead is, instead of Alf, I would like to take Alf, of course, but it's not going to happen right now. We're going to bring in Ilya once again. And I want to see what happens if I take Ilya into this fight, and you know, how will we fare with that extra bit of null magic, basically. I don't think it'll be a big difference, to be quite honest, but it's good to see if there's going to be any slight difference, maybe in some way, shape, or form, you know. It'll be good to see. It'll be very, very good to see. God damn it, I forgot to switch out to one second. I completely forgot to switch into the actual mechanic, which was buff. I forgot to switch the AI setting to buff, unfortunately. Let's go back in again, though. Let's try this one more time. So trial unit slot 2, and then go for Argonaut, and then buff. There we go. I really hate the fact that when you use the trial unit again, it goes back and defaults into balanced instead of buff. It's really annoying in that regard, but it's okay. We can still see how it goes from this point onwards. Okay. This is going to be very interesting. Bet died. Unfortunate. So we're going to get a null ailment there. And Immortal Gale there. Okay. I want to see what happens from this point onwards. This is going to be the most interesting part of it all. Justice Oath. Okay. It's not going to make a difference here. It's not going to make a difference here. Okay. So Magic teams seem to dominate Argonaut, or at least this setup of Argonaut. I feel like maybe with an alternate setup, maybe you could do a little bit better against an opponent like Pew, potentially, right? Maybe how about this? Maybe let me try this potentially. I want to see how this would work. How would this operate? Because what I was thinking was, maybe if we went with potentially, instead of Bet, we went with Alize, and of course Alize gives us that extra 2x magic null, right? So maybe that could help us. We'll see. Let's give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. I don't know. It's a good attempt nonetheless. Maybe I could have probably taken Bet still into the first slot, but it's fine. It's fine. We'll take our boy Bell and Ryu together into this fight for now. Let's see how it goes. Nah, it's just the counters, man. The counter Magic team is really good, bro. The counter Magic team is really strong. And it's again, goddamn Ahmed, man. I swear down, I knew that she was going to be a bit of a menace. I knew she was going to be a bit of a menace. But maybe there has to be some other alternative, potentially. I don't know. But yeah, I think, you know, this is something you could consider as well. Potentially, in terms of going up against Magic teams, it's not going to really pan out the way you think it is. Let's check out maybe Thermal. See how his team is looking like. Of course, running a sort of like physical rush team mixed with, of course, Alize and stuff. This is a very interesting composition. Let's give this a shot. I'm gonna bring back Bet just because I feel like, you know, we gotta bring the homies together. You could I'm wondering, what if you do something like this? Maybe let's give this a shot. I was just thinking about it. Why not give it a shot with the full Magic team, or full Fire team? Sorry, not full Magic team, full Fire team. And instead of you, I mean, I don't know who I could bring instead of you, to be quite honest. There's not much options in terms of fire at this point in time. I think if Bell is going to be a fire unit in part 2, this team might be very strong, by the way. This team could end up being very strong. We might have another season of fire being one of the best elements, if not the best element of the meta, to be quite honest. I mean, fire is already like pretty much first or second, to be quite honest. It's matched up with light, to be fair. So I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me whatsoever if that does indeed end up happening, you know. Let's stick with this and see what happens. Let's see what we can cook with this team and this composition, of course, right? I hope I did set it to buff. I think I did. I hope I did set it to buff. Let's see how this goes. So Justice Oath is going off, of course. Swift Gear, hitting him with that. Okay, we got you down. Spark Ignition. Eternal Promise. Okay, Inspiring Courage and Indomitable Sword. Let's see how this cooks. Okay, Burning Roar. Alright, this actually might work the way I think it will. No, it won't. It won't, because I just realized. I just realized he had Supply Princess Eyes in the back. Thermal got me there. Damn it. Okay, so physical rush team, maybe not the greatest option, but again, I think it's just down to setup. My setup isn't that great, of course, right? I think I'm playing around with this team a little bit too much. Of course, this is, of course, remember, I should mention this always at the start of these showcases. This is the first time I'm using this team as well, or I'm testing out Argonaut, right? It's like a sort of video where I gradually learn more and more about Argonaut, as well as you guys do, at the same time as you guys do, I should say. So obviously this is something that I'm learning as we go along, of course, right? A counter team, I know that's not gonna work considering what just happened, of course, right? Maybe I could probably take something like, of course, Chloe, and maybe run with a 4 times null ailment in the first run. I just don't think that's necessarily completely worth it. I think I'm gonna lose big time there. I just don't have the setup for that. I want to try out the counter team as well with this Argonaut, because I feel like there is a potential for something there, but I just don't have the counter units at high LBs, right? Argonaut's only +2. My assist Argonaut is only like +2. Tiona is like +2 or +3 as well. She's not in the best spot, unfortunately, so it's not the best thing on the planet. But yeah, let's go up against Sethi. I want to try something like this, maybe. See how we fare against a team like this composition. And I'm going to replace you. I'm sorry, lady. You got to go, blood. You got to go. We got to replace you with something else entirely. I think instead of Alize, we... I'm thinking we take Windbell again, man. I think we take Windbell again. I just wish I had Windbell at a higher LB, man. My luck with the free multis, by the way, absolutely disastrous. And remember that the free multis have ended, of course. I do think that they might add another month of free multis in part 2, by the way, but my month of free multis have been horrendous. I've just got no luck. I think I only got one good unit, and it was, I think, Lyra from the anime Gacha, and that's it. That's all I got. So I've not been faring extremely well on that front, unfortunately, as well. I completely forgot about weapons as well, to be honest. That would have made a bit of a difference as well, to be fair. Let me chuck in an anklet as well. Let me give Bet as well his armor piece. Maybe that's what was killing me. We can go and try again, but I don't think it would have made a huge difference, in my personal opinion, having the armor or not, to be quite honest. But we'll see. We'll see how it fares. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring back Alf, because I feel like going for the agility is a little bit more important than magic. And especially, I think, you know, with this sort of team, maybe you might want to take the hit when you're facing off against magic, which unfortunately you can't necessarily completely do, because you're going up against... Okay, this was it's a physical rush team. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that this was going to happen, because we just had no physical at all in the front slot. And yeah, I mean, it was going to happen. It was a matter of turn 1 just KO pretty much as soon as possible. Okay, never mind. Let me go and fight against... I think it was... I mean, I could go up against Pew again, but I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference necessarily. But you know, we've given them the armor pieces again now. All right, we are back again. Sorry about that. Had some issues with the recording, so I had to cut the previous part and effectively tag this on. But as I was saying, I think I was saying something about, like, I don't think the armor pieces are gonna make that much of a difference or anything of that sort. But let's give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. You know, some things may change. maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. I'm leaning towards it probably won't work. But yeah, I think, you know, this Argonaut is pretty strong, but I just believe he needs to be put into the right hands, and I think he can be an amazing unit. I particularly believe that he is an amazing unit, of course, for stall, right? Like I believe I've been saying for a while now. But I feel like when you're going up against the other teams, I think you might want to run something a little bit different. Potentially, you might want to bring in something a little bit better, potentially. But yeah, I don't think at this point it's gonna work because, of course, the counters will just absolutely demolish me. Yeah, the Magic teams are just a little bit too not overpowered necessarily, but overpowering. They are very overpowering because they'll just, you know, they'll just absolutely crush you in a matter of seconds effectively if you don't go first, of course, right? So that's something to bear in mind. Let's go down a little bit and let's see if we can spot maybe a stall team, potentially another stall team. I don't think there are any other stall teams because I feel like nobody is running like the usual stall team. I was expecting to see maybe if we could probably spot maybe like a, you know, an Astreus in there or something like that, but it doesn't seem like it. Everybody's just running counter and stuff, which is really, really annoying. It's not the go-to, shall I say. It's not the go-to. Neon? Nah, Neon's running the same stall team because we've seen that this team can beat MGG. So there's no point in me going up against that. Let me try against Paul maybe. What I might do is instead of running, I might try and change it up a little bit here. Instead of running Ilya or Alf in this situation, let's bring in Chloe. Let's bring in Chloe as the front line in this situation. Where is Chloe? There she is. I said click on her. I didn't say hold her. Hold it. And then we can put Loki in the back line as well. Let's try that out. Something a little bit different. Something a little bit interesting. We'll put it to buff as well. And let's let it rip. Let's see how this fares. I'm very curious to see if we can do anything in this sort of situation. Of course, it's a much more trickier situation because we're going up against a team that's effectively going for a full rush setup, which results in this basically. I think there's a lot more to be done here. I think maybe you could run him as a rush setup, and it's something I might try out right now. Of course, I think we should probably switch over to using my +2 version, but I'm just trying out some things and I'm very curious to see how it'll fare. So what if I do something like this, right? If I can go for maybe like what if I do this? We'll replace you with Thunder Physical, bring in Alan again, and then we can go for attack all here, and we'll set it up like this. I think this makes sense for now. Bet unfortunately isn't fast, so maybe if we can bring in fire physical, maybe bring in you. Yes, bring in you. We'll set you up to buff, which will obviously start off with the first one. See how that goes. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. We'll figure it out. And yeah, how we'll see if this works. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. I think what we can do here as well is okay, we'll do that. Then we can bring in Alf. Let's bring in Alf. And then let's go with you. Sure. We'll try this out. Let's go full offensive. I don't think this is necessarily gonna work, but we can give it a shot and see how it fares. We're going up against a team that's effectively the same as this, right? With Card Slash, the only annoying is that, you know, he's going first, of course, right? But let's see this, how this works. Yeah, no, the counters are just too much. I just wish I had the counters myself. If I had the counters myself, oh, it would have been so good. It would have been so good. But yeah, I want to see what you guys think. Of course, we managed to get the big win at the start of the game, at the start of the video itself with MGG. This Argonaut is very interesting. I just believe that maybe with the right setup, maybe with the right units, and just a better setup. I think my setup is not good, and I feel like you know, you could build up something. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas as well. Maybe we might come back next week and I might use my +2 Argonaut in the War Games ladder. I might do a stream actually, you know, using Argonaut here and there a little bit next week, of course, right? When we do have, of course, a War Game season and everything. But let me know what you guys think about him, of course, in the comment section down below. Do you guys like him, dislike him? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.